Welcome back, brother. You've been told to love unconditionally, to give endlessly, to be her rock, her shield, her protector. But no one told you the price. Your center, your soul, your silence. In this journey, we confront a truth most fear to face, that love, without awareness, becomes self-destruction. Freud didn't romanticize the human mind. He exposed it. Beneath the smiles, the promises, the warmth lies a deeper architecture, one governed not by logic but by shadows. And within every woman there is a storm of unconscious desires, wounds, and impulses that not even she fully understands. This isn't a video about blaming women. It's a guide for men who are tired of bleeding for illusions. You're not here to beg for love. You're here to reclaim your power, not through dominance, but through understanding. So lean in. What you're about to hear might unsettle you, but if you're ready, it will free you. This is not for boys chasing validation. This is for men becoming sovereign. 1. The silent power that women crave. She didn't leave you because you didn't love her enough. She left because you couldn't control yourself. You begged, you chased, you explained, you got emotional. And she vanished. Not because she's cruel, but because something in her psychology, something ancient, primal, unconscious, is programmed to pull away from men who can't contain their emotional storms. Every time you overexpress, overtext, overshare, you reveal something. Instability. And no woman deep down is attracted to a man she can emotionally dominate. She doesn't want your tears. She doesn't want your justifications. She wants your stillness. This isn't about pretending to be cold. It's about becoming solid. Men who are emotionally erratic may be called passionate, but in the eyes of women, they're weak. Stoicism, both ancient and modern, tells you one truth. The man who masters himself masters all. When you remain centered while she pulls away, she wonders. When you don't react to her drama, she watches. When you stay calm in the storm, she feels it. That's the paradox. Your silence speaks louder than all your explanations. Evolutionary psychology confirms it. Women are drawn not to neediness, but to sovereignty. To men who don't chase, but attract. To men who don't explain, but act. Your silence, when it comes from confidence, becomes magnetic. Your lack of reaction makes her question her power over you. And that's when attraction reignites. This video isn't about manipulating women. It's about remembering who you are and why your emotions should serve you, not sabotage you. You'll learn why emotional self-control increases desire, why female psychology tests you unconsciously, and how to rebuild your inner frame so she sees you as untouchable, not invisible. Because once you control your emotions, you control the dynamic. Now comment below, I choose silence over reaction. 2. Detailed analysis. She doesn't want your words, she watches your control. You've been lied to since you were young. Every movie, every song, every love story tells you the same script. Express yourself. Tell her how much she means to you. Fight for her. But here's the brutal truth. The more you explain yourself, the more she disconnects. Why? Because attraction doesn't live in words. It lives in tension, mystery, polarity. She doesn't fall for your poems, your promises, or your late-night apologies. She falls for what she feels when she's in your presence, and if you can't hold your center, she feels unsafe. Not because you're violent, but because you're emotionally unstable. A woman's unconscious mind is always asking one question. Can I trust this man to stay grounded when I test him? Yes, test. Women don't test you consciously. They're not calculating, but their nervous systems are built to detect masculine stability. That's why they push buttons to see if your frame breaks. If you snap beg or try to logic your way back in, you've already lost. The man who says less but means more wins. He doesn't chase after her approval. He doesn't try to argue about what's fair or unfair. He just stands, calm, composed, certain. In that silence, she begins to feel something she hasn't felt in a long time: attraction, respect, curiosity. She asks herself, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he chasing? Why do I feel like I'm the one being watched? This is the exact reversal of power. Emotional men seek attention. Controlled men command it. And this isn't about being fake. This is not a technique. This is about embodying the truth that you are already enough. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to sell it. You live it. And when you do, she feels it in her gut. Like Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Now comment below. I don't chase. I attract through control. 3. Rebutting the false beliefs, the lie of emotional honesty. You were told to be honest with your feelings, that opening your heart, pouring out your emotions, and showing your vulnerability is the highest form of love. But let's expose the hidden trap. Emotional honesty without emotional control is weakness, not virtue. Women are not drawn to raw emotion. They're drawn to your ability to contain your emotions. The modern narrative teaches you to cry in front of her, confess your fears, and reveal every insecurity, thinking she'll love you more for it. But when you do, something strange happens. She pulls away. She becomes cold, distant, disconnected. You think she's heartless. In reality, she's instinctively recoiling from what her biology sees as danger, a man who's lost his frame. This isn't because she's evil. It's because her attraction isn't based on compassion. It's based on polarity. A man who bleeds emotionally all over a woman asks her unconsciously to hold space for him, to be the stable one, the strong one. But that flips the polarity, and now you've become the feminine pole, emotionally unstable and dependent. Her biology is wired to feel safe around stability, not to create it for you. Yes, she may say she wants openness. Yes, she might say, I love it when a man is vulnerable. But what she means is, I want a man who feels deeply but stays anchored. She wants to feel your storm, not be swept away by it. That's the core misunderstanding. Emotional expression isn't wrong, but without strength it turns into chaos. You're not supposed to suppress. You're supposed to transmute. Freud was right. Most of what drives human behavior is unconscious. Women don't walk away because you cried once. They walk away because they felt that your center cracked, that their storm overwhelmed your presence. And in that moment, their unconscious mind makes a decision. I can't trust this man to hold me. I must find one who can. The solution: reclaim your emotional sovereignty. Feel everything. Express little. Show depth, not instability. When you do speak, speak with weight, not with desperation. When you feel anger, breathe through it. Don't act it out. When you feel sadness, own it in silence. Don't offer it like a broken glass. Like Seneca said, the greatest power is often simple restraint. You are not a boy seeking validation. You are a man discovering control. Now comment below. My silence is my strength. 4. Offering the right perspective. Detachment is not coldness, it's sovereignty. When you hear the word detachment, you might think of a man who doesn't care, a heartless player, or an emotionally numb monk. But that's not what true detachment is. Real detachment is spiritual mastery, and it's the most attractive state a man can embody. Detachment doesn't mean you don't love, it means you don't need. And that subtle shift changes everything. Most men chase women not because they love them, but because they're afraid of being without them. It's not devotion, it's addiction. It's the unconscious belief that she completes me, and without her, you are less than whole. That belief is a trap, and women can feel it. Neediness repels, presence attracts. Freud taught us that underneath every behavior is a force, a drive. Men who cling, who over-explain, who constantly need reassurance, they're driven by fear of abandonment, fear of being unseen, fear of being forgotten. But those fears are rooted not in love, but in ego. Now imagine this. You meet her with calm eyes. You listen deeply. You speak little. You're grounded still and unbothered. You love her maybe even intensely, but you are not owned by that love. You can walk away if she disrespects your standards. You don't beg. You don't chase. You simply leave not with anger, but with clarity. That kind of detachment is magnetic because she feels something rare, a man who doesn't fear her absence. She can test you, she can withdraw, she can manipulate, but nothing breaks your core. She can't control your mood. Your silence is not withdrawal, it is your boundary. That's when she begins to respect you. Why? Because you're no longer reacting to her storm, you've become the mountain. Stoicism echoes this truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Women are the outside event. You cannot control what they feel, say, or do, but you can master your internal response. This is not about punishing women. This is about liberating yourself from the need for approval, from the dance of emotional chaos, from the illusion that love must come with suffering. You are allowed to love her deeply and let her go instantly if she breaks your values. That is what she will remember. That is what she cannot forget. So take this into your bones. Love her fully. Need her never." Now comment below. I choose presence over need. 5. The female fear of exposure. Why she runs from emotional clarity. You may think that when you give her emotional clarity, truth, openness, stability, she'll finally feel safe enough to stay. But Freud would warn you otherwise. Because in the unconscious mind of a woman, safety is not always safety. In fact, clarity threatens her more than chaos. From early childhood, many women internalize shame, secrecy, and duality, being one thing on the outside and another within. The Madonna whore complex is not a stereotype, it's a psychological fracture. One part of her wants to be seen as pure, respected, desired gently. The other seeks domination, danger, and the rawness of primal power. When you offer emotional clarity, she suddenly feels seen, not just admired, but exposed. And exposure is unbearable when you've been conditioned to live behind masks. So what happens? She flees. She withdraws. She rewrites the story. "You're too good for me," she says. Or worse, "You're boring." In truth, she cannot reconcile her longing for a man who both sees her deeply and doesn't flinch. That kind of power frightens her. It forces her to face herself. Freud saw this in his female patients. The moment a therapist came close to unlocking their emotional blueprint, they would resist. Transference would appear anger, projection, or seductive confusion as a defense against being unmasked. What Freud learned is this: the unconscious doesn't want healing, it wants repetition. Repetition is safe, predictable. Healing is chaos to the unconscious. That's why you must not react when she flees from your depth. You must hold the frame. Say nothing. Chase nothing. Be the mirror that reflects truth without needing to convince her. Your stillness is more powerful than explanation. If she is ready to meet herself, she'll return. And if not, you've already won because you stayed loyal to the truth, not to her confusion. In Stoic terms, Epictetus would remind you, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Her reactions are beyond your control, but your inner clarity is not. Now speak out and comment below. My clarity is strength, not a threat. 6. The seduction of chaos. Why she tests the man who stands still. She doesn't test you because she hates you. She tests you because she wants to believe you're real. At her core, a woman's unconscious doesn't seek peace, it seeks certainty through emotional verification. And the only way to verify your strength is to disturb your waters and see if you remain unmoved. This is not malicious, it's psychological. Freud called it repetition compulsion, the mind's way of reenacting pain, hoping for a new outcome. When she criticizes you out of nowhere, withdraws her affection, or throws emotional daggers, she's not consciously thinking, "Let me sabotage this." No, her unconscious is whispering, "Let me see if he'll abandon me like the others did." But here's the trap. The moment you react, explain, or chase, you confirm her fear, you abandon yourself. And in her eyes, you become weak. The man who remains grounded in chaos is not cold, he's sovereign. He doesn't need her calm to maintain his. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't beg for reassurance, doesn't explain away her storms. He lets the storm pass because he knows it was never about him. It was about her ancient fear of not being held by something unshakable. In modern relationships, this plays out in subtle ways. You plan a calm evening, she picks a fight. You just gave her security. Her unconscious needs to shake it to feel the edges of its truth. If your love is real, it should survive pressure. That's how her instincts test its strength. And most men fail by arguing, apologizing, or asking what's wrong. Freud believed that the unconscious isn't swayed by words, it's swayed by experience. So if she experiences your stillness through her chaos, you're no longer a man, you're a force of nature. And this paradoxically makes her feel safe. Stoicism echoes this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the rock against which the waves crash, yet it stands firm and still." That's what you are when you stop fearing her chaos. You do not correct it, you do not fix it, you witness it and remain whole. So the next time she tests, you remember it's not an attack, it's a question, and your silence is the most powerful answer. Now comment below, "I am the calm she cannot shake." 7. The mirror she cannot break. How presence destroys illusion. She thrives on illusions about you, about herself, about the story you both play out. But when you become a mirror that reflects truth without distortion, she starts to panic. A woman's unconscious isn't attracted to words. It's drawn to presence, raw, steady, wordless awareness that sees through the masks. When you are truly present without judgment or performance, she loses her ability to manipulate, twist, or run from herself. And that terrifies her because most men never reach that depth. Most men are so eager to be loved, they become blind to the lies she tells herself. But not you. When you are fully present, when your eyes don't flinch, when your energy doesn't chase, when your soul doesn't reach, you are no longer just a man. You are a mirror, and mirrors don't blink. Freud said that repression thrives in the dark. But what happens when she's with a man who doesn't allow darkness to hide? Her unconscious reacts in two ways. First, it feels exposed. Second, it wants to run. That's when she pulls away, says, "You make me uncomfortable," or accuses you of being too much. What she's really saying is, "I can't hide from you, and it terrifies me." Most men fail here. They try to dim their presence. They try to become less threatening, more accepting, more agreeable. But that's the beginning of the end. Because once you allow her to blind you, she loses respect and the polarity collapses. What she secretly craves is the man who doesn't look away. Not when she's angry, not when she's crying, not even when she's silent and distant. The man who holds his gaze, stays in his body, and refuses to chase. That man becomes unforgettable. Because he becomes the one man who didn't flinch in the face of her unconscious storm. This is not about dominance, it's about presence. Presence is the art of being unmoved and aware at the same time. It's not reactive, it's not afraid, it simply sees and keeps seeing. From a Stoic perspective, this is your virtue in action. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The man who is fully present suffers less because he imagines nothing. He sees what is and nothing more. You become dangerous to her illusion. You shatter the lies not with words, but with stillness. and for the first time she meets herself in your gaze. Now comment below. I am the mirror she cannot break. 8. Her withdrawals are tests. Do you chase or remain still? She disappears. She grows cold. Her texts slow down, her gaze drifts, and her warmth vanishes without warning. You panic. You replay every word you said. You wonder if you upset her. Your instinct tells you to fix it, to chase, to explain, to win her back. But that instinct is your downfall. Her withdrawals are not always conscious. Freud would say they're driven by her unconscious conflicts, her fear of vulnerability, her shame, her compulsion to repeat emotional trauma. But at the surface level, what matters to you is this. Her silence is not rejection. It's a test. It's a test of your center. The moment she pulls back, the weak man reaches. He sends long messages, reassures her, apologizes for things he never did, and begs for validation. He tries to bring her back, and in doing so, he proves her unconscious fear. Correct, he is not strong enough to hold her chaos. He is too reactive to be trusted. But when you remain still, when you don't flinch, when you allow her distance to be hers, not yours, you demonstrate something rare: sovereign self-possession. You are no longer her emotional servant. You are not waiting for her affection like a beggar waits for crumbs. You are whole with or without her warmth. This terrifies her and attracts her. Women are drawn to men who do not chase, not because they enjoy cruelty, but because they crave leadership. And leadership requires emotional independence. If you cannot hold yourself while she wavers, how can she trust you to hold anything else? From Freud's lens, her unconscious wants you to be unshakable. It throws chaos at you not out of malice, but as a defense mechanism. She tests to see: are you safe? Are you real? Are you grounded? Or are you just another mask waiting to slip? When she pulls away, the high-value man does not explain himself. He does not collapse. He does not try to win her over. He honors the silence as sacred. He stays centered. And if she comes back, she finds a man who was never lost. Stoicism echoes this with Epictetus's wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Her silence is not the storm, it's the wind testing the strength of your roots. Let her go if she needs to go. Let her return if she chooses. You remain. Now comment below. I do not chase, I remain. 9. She wants the mirror, not the savior. You were taught to rescue, to protect, to fix her pain, soothe her wounds, carry her darkness as your own. You thought that made you noble. But Freud would tell you it makes you vulnerable to a deeper trap. She doesn't want a savior, she wants a mirror. A savior assumes she is broken. A mirror reflects who she is without judgment, without distortion, without losing clarity. When you try to save her, you are no longer her equal. You become her emotional servant. You carry burdens that are not yours to hold. And in doing so, you lose her respect. Why? Because she senses the imbalance. You give hoping for love in return. You heal hoping she will stay. You invest not from fullness, but from fear. And fear kills polarity. A mirror, by contrast, offers something terrifying and divine: the truth. You reflect her light and her shadow. You see her softness, but you also see her manipulations. You see her grace, but you do not flinch at her chaos. You don't try to fix her, you allow her to see herself through you. And in that moment, if she is brave, she rises. This is what most men do not understand. When a woman spirals, complains, withdraws, or tests you, she is not looking for a therapist. She's looking for a man who does not disappear into her storm. A man who can witness her without trying to alter her. Freud believed that the unconscious seeks reflection, it wants to be seen, not solved. Women crave emotional containment, not codependence. When you try to save her, you rob her of the chance to meet herself. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." That means you hold space, not solutions. You remain present, not performative. And you never betray your center to gain her affection. In practical terms, this means when she projects anger, you don't fight. When she withdraws, you don't chase. When she spirals, you don't fix. You stand, calm, open, whole. You become the mirror that doesn't shatter. If she stays, it's real. If she leaves, you were never meant to bend. Now, comment below. I am the mirror, not the savior. You've seen the hidden code. You've walked through the unconscious labyrinth Freud revealed of shame, hysteria, biological betrayal, and the inner divide between what a woman says she wants and what she's truly drawn to. You've learned that love isn't enough. That intention is powerless against unhealed instincts. That unless you stand in your own truth, you will be swallowed by hers. But now you know better. You are not here to save her. You are not here to chase her moods. You are not here to explain your worth. You are here to lead your own soul, to see reality as it is, and to become the man no storm can shake. The world needs fewer nice guys and more grounded men, fewer pleasers and more presence. So brother, stand firm, speak less, watch more, and remember this. A man who knows the unconscious does not beg for love. He becomes the source of it. Now comment below, I am no longer afraid of the truth.